All right, Celtics fans, buckle up, because today's update is packed with major storylines that every green-blooded supporter needs to hear. The second round of the NBA playoffs is officially locked in, and Boston's next challenge has a familiar face, the New York Knicks. After a hard-fought first-round series, the Knicks got the job done, eliminating the Detroit Pistons in 6 games. And now, the stage is set for a classic Eastern Conference showdown. Celtics versus Knicks. 2 storied franchises, 2 passionate fan bases, and one mission: survive and advance. But make no mistake, Boston enters this series not just with momentum, but with a serious target on their back. Let's start with the obvious. This Celtics roster might just be the most balanced, the most complete, and the most dangerous lineup in the entire NBA. From top to bottom, every position is filled with talent, experience, and chemistry. They got elite scorers, top-tier defenders, floor generals, and bench depth that would make any coach jealous. On paper, they're the team to beat. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite all that talent, this current version of the Celtics might not last beyond this postseason. According to recent reports, the front office is already eyeing potential moves in the offseason. The goal? Financial flexibility. Word is there could be trades coming, not necessarily because of performance, but because of the salary cap pressures looming over the organization. So while fans are rightfully focused on the playoff push, there's a parallel storyline quietly unfolding behind the scenes. This might be the final ride for this particular group of guys. Some beloved names could be wearing different jerseys when next season tips off. That reality brings an added sense of urgency to this playoff run. It's not just about defending the crown. It's about making this moment count, because the future is far from guaranteed. And speaking of defending the crown, let's talk about the man leading that charge, Jason Tatum. The star forward has been nothing short of composed, poised, and focused throughout this season. What's striking is how calm he's been, even with the weight of expectations on his shoulders. You'd think a guy aiming for back-to-back championships would be feeling the pressure, but Tatum has taken it all in stride. He's publicly said that winning last year actually made things easier for him this season. He knows what it takes now. The path is familiar. And because of that, he's not getting caught up in the noise. He's just hooping, playing his game, trusting his teammates, and leading by example. Tatum's regular season numbers tell the story. Over 72 games, he averaged 26.8 points, 8.7 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.1 steals, and half a block per contest. Those aren't just solid stats. Those are superstar numbers. Night in and night out, he showed why he's one of the most versatile and consistent players in the league. And yet, even with all the personal accolades, he's never made it about himself. For Tatum, it's team first. Always. But no playoff series is won on talent alone. And that's exactly what head coach Joe Mazzulla has been preaching in recent days. According to him, the battle against the Knicks is going to come down to the smallest details, things that don't always show up on the stat sheet. Rotations on defense, hustle plays, communication, staying locked in from the opening tip to the final buzzer. The Knicks are gritty. They're physical. They thrive on making games ugly and grinding out wins. So if Boston wants to impose its will, they'll need to match, or even exceed, that level of intensity. What makes this matchup especially compelling is the contrast in styles. Boston plays with spacing, precision, and a modern, fluid offense that can torch teams from beyond the arc or collapse defenses with drives and kickouts. The Knicks, on the other hand, bring that old-school toughness. They're not afraid to slow the pace, crash the boards, and play smash-mouth basketball for 48 minutes. It's a chess match, and every possession is going to matter. There's also the psychological warfare that comes with playoff basketball. These two teams know each other. They've met in big moments before. The history runs deep, and so does the rivalry. Don't be surprised if a series gets chippy, with tempers flaring and emotions running high. That's part of what makes it great. For fans, it's drama. For players, it's legacy. Every bucket, every stop, every timeout, it's all amplified under the bright lights of the playoffs. And while Boston has the edge on paper, that doesn't guarantee anything. One off night, one injury, one bounce of the ball. That's all it takes to shift the momentum in a series like this. The Celtics have to stay sharp. They can't afford to take a single quarter for granted, especially not against a Knicks squad that has proven they're more than capable of pulling off an upset. So here we are. The second round is upon us, and the mission is clear. For Boston, it's about more than just winning. It's about cementing a dynasty, quieting the doubters, and proving that last year was no fluke. It's about honoring this core group of players, possibly for the last time, with a run that lives up to their potential. And it's about Jason Tatum stepping fully into his role as the face of the franchise, the leader of men, and the guy who delivers when it matters most. This team knows the stakes. The fans know the stakes. And now, it's time to show the rest of the league that the road to the championship still runs through Boston. While the focus remains firmly on the battle ahead, what makes this Celtics team so intriguing isn't just their top-end talent, but how every piece fits together in a way that makes them a nightmare for opponents. The chemistry, the timing, the execution, it's all been cultivated over seasons of heartbreak, adjustments, and lessons learned. Players like Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Kristaps Porzingis have stepped into their roles with purpose, each bringing a unique layer to the team's identity. Brown's athleticism and intensity, White's two-way play, Holiday's leadership and lockdown defense, Porzingis' size and shooting. They each contribute in ways that make Boston not just good, but relentless. And it's not just about the starters. The depth on this roster is what gives the Celtics a real edge. Guys coming off the bench can step in, keep the pace high, and sometimes even shift the energy of an entire game. Whether it's Peyton Pritchard knocking down timely threes, Sam Hauser spacing the floor, or Al Horford providing that veteran leadership and clutch shot-making, Boston has options. That's what separates contenders from champions. Not just having stars, but having reliable contributors who can rise to the occasion when the spotlight is brightest. All of this depth and cohesion has given head coach Joe Mazzulla plenty of tools to work with. But with those tools comes the responsibility of making the right calls at the right time. Mazzulla has been tested, no doubt. This is playoff basketball, where every decision is scrutinized, every substitution dissected, and every timeout can be the difference between victory and defeat. But give credit where it's due. Mazzulla has grown into this role. He's found a rhythm with this group, and the players clearly respect his voice. His ability to adjust mid-game, respond to different matchups, and trust in his rotation has helped solidify Boston's place as one of the most consistent teams in the league this season. Now, let's take a closer look at the opponent, because the New York Knicks are no walk in the park. This team has grit. They're battle-tested, led by Jalen Brunson, who's been playing an all-star level. The Knicks bring a tough, blue-collar identity that mirrors the spirit of their city. Brunson has carried a heavy load all season, not just scoring, but orchestrating the offense and setting the tone with his fearless drives and clutch plays. Around him, there's a cast of players who buy in, defend hard, and play with heart. Guys like Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, and Isaiah Hartenstein have been huge for them. This is a team that might not always dazzle, but they don't go away quietly. They grind, they scrap, and they take pride in making things difficult for their opponents. That's exactly why this series isn't just a test of talent. It's a test of will. The Celtics will need to bring the same intensity that the Knicks are known for. There's no room for complacency. No quarters off. If Boston wants to move on, they have to win the physical battle and the mental one. That means locking in on defense, closing out hard on shooters, boxing out, and limiting second chance points. Things that don't always make highlight reels but win playoff games. And speaking of defense, that's where this series could really be won or lost. The Celtics have the potential to suffocate teams when they're clicking defensively. Their switchability, their length, and their communication can completely take opponents out of rhythm. When everyone's on the same page, Tatum closing out on wings, Holiday hounding ball handlers, White digging into passing lanes, and Porzingis protecting the rim, they can make it nearly impossible for teams to find a groove. But it takes focus. It takes discipline. And it takes a team-wide commitment to making every possession count. Rebounding is going to be another huge factor. The Knicks are relentless on the offensive glass. They crash hard, they fight for every board, and they're not afraid to get physical in the paint. Boston's bigs and wings are going to have to match that energy. It's not just about boxing out. It's about being aggressive, securing the ball, and starting fast breaks that lead to easy buckets. That transition game could be a weapon for the Celtics, especially if they can force turnovers and get out in space. Tatum and Brown running the floor with shooters flanking them is a nightmare scenario for any defense. And while we're on the topic of Tatum and Brown, this series is yet another chapter in their evolving story as a duo. They've been through so much together. Early playoff exits, Eastern Conference heartbreaks, and now a championship under their belt. They've grown not just as players, but as leaders. Their understanding of when to take over, when to defer, and how to elevate the guys around them has become one of the team's biggest strengths. This isn't the same young core from a few years ago. This is a battle-tested tandem with eyes locked on a second ring. And they know, just like the fans know, that the window is now. But the pressure that comes with that window is real. Being the defending champs means every team is coming at you with their best shot. There are no easy games, no overlooked opponents. Everyone wants to be the one that knocks you off the pedestal. And for the Celtics, that means staying humble, staying hungry, and staying connected. It means not getting caught up in the noise, the headlines, or the hype. Because the truth is, championships are won by teams who show up when it matters most. Teams that embrace the grind, sacrifice individual glory, and put the group above everything else. That's the mentality this squad needs to carry into every game of this series. Because if they bring that, if they bring their best, if they play Celtics basketball, smart, tough, unselfish, they're going to be hard to beat. But it has to be earned. The Knicks aren't just going to roll over. They're going to punch back. They're going to challenge Boston in ways that will require poise, execution, and heart. So what we've got ahead is a battle between two proud franchises, each hungry for more. Boston, aiming to defend the crown and take another step towards solidifying a new dynasty. New York, desperate to prove they belong among the league's elite again. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the basketball promises to be intense, emotional, and unforgettable. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a move that sent shockwaves through the NBA community, Kevin Durant reportedly expressed his desire to join the Boston Celtics in the near future. The superstar forward, currently with the Phoenix Suns, has long been linked to several franchises throughout his illustrious career, but this latest statement marks the most direct indication yet of his interest in wearing the green and white. According to sources close to the situation, Durant sent what's being described as a clear message to the Celtics organization, stating that he sees Boston as a potential home before the end of his career. The timing of this revelation is particularly intriguing, as the Celtics are in the midst of a dominant playoff run and look poised to contend for an NBA title this season. Durant's admiration for Boston's core, led by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, is no secret, and his comments suggest a genuine interest in becoming part of that culture. Durant has often spoken about his respect for basketball tradition, and few franchises hold as much historical weight as the Celtics. With 17 championships to their name, Boston represents the kind of legacy Durant has always said he values. A move to the East Coast powerhouse would not only offer him a chance to compete at the highest level, but also to etch his name alongside some of the game's greatest legends. While no official talks have taken place between Durant and the Celtics, insiders believe this message could be the first step toward a blockbuster move. It remains to be seen how the Celtics front office, led by Brad Stevens, will respond to the idea of adding another superstar to an already stacked roster. But one thing is clear: if Durant truly wants to don a Celtics jersey, the entire league will be watching. Could this be the beginning of a new chapter in Kevin Durant's storied career? Time will tell, but Boston fans have every reason to dream big. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.